apart from Teddy Sheringham, who's been your favourite returning Spurs hero? People that have left and then come back?
Funnily enough, I would say Jermaine Defoe. Because Bale, I thought might, but hasn't lived up to it. But when Defoe came back, with him it was like he didn't want to leave or anything like that. We got rid of him and then we brought him back, and he was at the same level, throughout. And he's been at like that. He's like 36 and he's still doing the same thing, obviously at smaller clubs.
Mm-hmm. You upset the Scottish.
Yeah, upset the Scots side. Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Is that my ultimate goal is actually to move to Scotland and live there. I love Scotland.
I think that you might need to change those plans, Ross.
Yeah, I'm not sure that might take me away at the border. No, pal.
You're going to call yourself McResimus. McResimus France.
Yeah. But Jermaine, he's 36, 37, something like that. He's still, still playing, still doing well. I've got so much respect for him, so much time for him, because he seems like a genuinely nice kid as well, or a nice guy as well.
Speaking of nice kids, the Yid kid says Bale, obviously. He's gone all in with Bale. Yeah. Got Jens, who's your favourite returning Spurs hero?
I'd agree with what Rez said about Jermaine Defoe, but I also, although he didn't quite put the performances in, but I loved Robbie Keane. When we first signed him, I remember I was jumping around like a madman, and he gave me so much pleasure over the years. When he came back, he didn't do as much, but yeah, I'd say Robbie.
It's what Rez said. The shine went for me when he left. He pissed me right off, and I never felt the same about him again. I did love Keane beforehand, but I think it was summed up by one of the games when he came back. Gaz, I think you were there as well. He kind of tripped over on the halfway line, didn't he? And the whole stadium started laughing at him. His after he'd gone sort of 7 or 8 games and he wasn't pulling up any trees and he wasn't the same player, and you could see his confidence had been knocked after he left and stuff, and he kind of tripped over on the halfway line and the whole stadium were laughing at him, and that kind of summed up his second stint for me.
Yeah.
Gaz, so we've got some strong contenders there. We've got Defoe for Rez, Robbie Keane for Jens, and the Yid kid's gone for Bale. Who are you going to go for? You're running out of options here.
Pascal Kimbonda.
Yeah, he's on there.
Who's that coming over the hill?
With his gloves and all sorts in May time.
Man, yeah.
I don't know. Jurgen Klinsmann came back, didn't he?
That's true.
Mickey Hazard, he came back from Chelsea.
Hazard, yeah. I saw him in his second spell in my early days of going to Spurs. So, yeah, but for me, I think the overall winner is the same as both the other two guys, is Jermaine Defoe. I think he was the one who probably was more successful in my eyes, and forgiven by the fans as well.
Let's get a show of hands in the comment section then. Who's your favourite returning Spurs hero? We've also got, I'd bring Crouch into that because he did start. I saw him play for Tottenham as a young gangly 17, 18-year-old who played at Cheshire United, our local club, him and Ledley King. So he left to QPR to pursue his professional career, but he came back, didn't he? So Spurs haven't even got him on their own website. I might have to write a strongly worded email to Daniel Levy about that. It's got a list of players that left and came back. You got Tony Marchi in 1949 to 57. He left and came back. Big Tony Marchi. Jens, you can do a quiz on him next week.
My godfather, who's the one who got me into supporting Spurs when I moved to England, I've got a number of pictures of him with the 60-61 team.
Yeah.
And I think one of them is with Tony Marchi, or it might be with Mel Hopkins, I'm not sure. But
Tony Marchi was part of our 60-61 double and 1963 European Cup winning sides, left half-back with height and creativity. What an apt man for you to get into Spurs over, Jens. Height. He had height and creativity.
Where's the creativity?
Yeah.
I just used to go in as hard and as fast as possible.
Creative ways of staying on your feet when you're drunk. That's where your creativity comes, isn't it? Then we've got Mickey. Mickey Hazard. Obviously, we touched on Mickey, who left for Chelsea and then came back when we needed some talent, some playmaker. Teddy Sheringham, of course, who led us to talk about that question. Jurgen, one of you guys said. He came back, didn't he, after Alan Sugar threw his shirt on the floor and said he wouldn't wash his car with it. And he had to sort of swallow humble pie and welcome him back, didn't he, when he rescued us from relegation that time. Yeah. When Rez started his love affair with Spurs.
Rez was there, yeah.
Yeah, Rez was there.